President Trump will have his first face-to-face meeting with Russian leader Vladimir Putin this week. Joining us now is GOP strategist Chris Neiweem. Chris is a former military police sergeant and Iraq War veteran. Chris, great to have you with us.
Good to be with you.
U.S.-Russian relations remain tense. What can we expect from this really high-profile meeting on Friday? I mean, a lot of anticipation. It's the first face-to-face meeting between the two.
Well, I think first there's going to be a lot of scrutiny from the press because obviously Democrats make it seem like President Trump's going to go out having beers with Vladimir Putin afterwards. But I think with looking at what's happening in North Korea, I think there's going to be a lot of close eyes on there because the U.S. and Russia are sort of at odds with a lot of the power alliances over there in the region. So I think there's going to be a lot of eyes watching. I think it's an opportunity for President Trump to set some expectations.
Well, in particular, the issue, obviously, of Syria is going to come up. I mean, right now, you've got the Syrian city of Raqqa, which is, we're hoping in the next 24 hours, going to fall, and ISIS will get out. If that happens, I mean, Russia is backing and Putin is backing Bashar al-Assad. That's going to be a point of contention between Trump and Putin. Where do you think that discussion goes?
I mean, it'll be interesting. I mean, obviously we have, two leaders that are very, aggressive and assertive and have had there's been no mincing of words with expectations. And this will be the first time to sort of come together and sort of see where that goes. I think that it should be interesting. But I don't think that President Trump is going to reduce our expectations. So it's going to be one of those friction areas for us, I think.
I want to talk about North Korea. This is the top story this morning, right, Chris, with the testing of those ICBMs. Do you think there's a connection between the fact that it's the 4th of July, Independence Day here in the U.S., and North Korea decided to do that test now?
I think that's highly likely. I mean, I think that they're provocative. I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think they probably timed the release of that. There's still some questions about the technology and the distance and that sort of thing, and whether or not that sort of technology could hit Alaska. But again, they're continuing down the trajectory of advancing their program. So we've got to get smart. We've got to do something, and I think that China's probably going to play a role for us there.
So you do think the Chinese are going to step up? Because, back to this meeting between, and really so many eyes are focused on this Trump-Putin meeting, at the G20, the issue obviously is going to come up with North Korea. The Russians and the Chinese have both tried to have preliminary talks about North Korea, but they don't seem to be getting anywhere. Do you think that President Trump can actually effectively put pressure on the Russians to get more involved with North Korea and to do something?
I think he can. I mean, it's one of those things, too. It's like chess. I mean, people usually don't do anything until they have to. It's not an emergency till it's an emergency kind of thing. And I think it's going to be incremental. I think this is also a good way to set the tone. I mean, there's going to be future discussions. This is sort of, expectation management and setting expectations. It's what makes these jobs hard. I mean, it's why we have, world leaders. So there's going to be high expectations. But I think trying to get Russia to come to the table on some of these issues or getting concessions where we can would be considered a victory.
Chris Neiweem, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Interesting perspective. Appreciate it.